Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We have some topics we're going to talk about, some good ones, some bad ones. We're going to hop right in. First, I want to say please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed. Also, I want to let you guys know that there will be some changes coming to this show. The first change that's going to happen is that we will now be taking questions from the comment section. I know a lot of you guys wanted that, and we will be doing that. The next change to make this show better, you guys have just suggested it, is we are going to do a comment of the day. Again, now we have 4 topics. Maybe in the next month we're going to have 5 topics, with one of them being the comment of the day, where I'll read one of you guys' comments and give you guys a shout out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, we are going to talk about the issue with the offense. We're going to talk about Jaylen Hill. We're going to talk about the biggest disappointment for the Ravens, and we're going to talk about the mailbag question of the day. So please stay to the end, and a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because you guys are the best. You guys support us. Thank you guys so much. Now we're going to hop right into the first topic, and this topic talks about Joe Flacco saying that the Ravens need to work on getting their confidence level higher in order for them to be a good offense. And I know what Joe Flacco is saying, that they're not confident. It kind of feels like they're moving slower than other offenses, different things like that. I really am starting to think more and more, and it hurts me to say this, that this is a John Harbaugh issue and this is a Joe Flacco issue. And I like both of them very, very, very much. But the way that this is going, it just feels like John and Joe just don't know how to fix this thing. And Marty as well, but again, Marty works for John. So it feels like they don't know how to fix this thing. The confidence, I don't know if that's the issue. I think that every offensive player, when they go to a field, has confidence. I think the issue is that you can't block anybody when you need to block people, and also your receivers don't get open. And when you have to wait for your receivers to get open, and your offensive line can't block, that means that Joe Flacco has nothing to do, which means Joe Flacco gets nervous, he gets those happy feet, and he throws the ball too early, and you miss open receivers and different things like that. I think a bad thing compounds each other, and we get what we have. And also, I believe that John Harbaugh wanted this team to be a run-first team, but then realized that you can't win in this league running the ball 70%. And it's just the truth. You have to have some dynamic play somewhere, and they don't have that. And again, you can't run the ball when your offensive line can't block for you. There are some plays that they do block well. There's a new show coming to the Raven Space where we highlight the best play from each game and break it down for you guys. That should be coming next Wednesday. But I just don't think that right now the Ravens really have what it takes skill-wise. I don't think it's a confidence issue. I think it's a skill issue. And that's why I feel that it's going to take a lot more than just confidence to feel better about this offense. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we're going to move on to the next topic, which talks about Jaylen Hill. He's finally returned to practice. John Harbaugh was a little upset about it. I've been a little upset about it. I know you guys have been, but Jaylen Hill was the best player the Ravens had in the offseason. And I know you guys see the pictures and thinking, why is it not gameplay? I am working on it. Every time I put the gameplay in this video, YouTube tells me I can't do that. So we're working on it. But Jaylen Hill was a great player, and I'm very disappointed that he's been injured so far, but he'll be back. And I just love the defense for the Ravens. It's a shame that our offense is going to waste it. Because as of right now, I don't think we're good enough to make the playoffs. But when you have Jaylen Hill and Ladarius Webb coming in and out at that slot corner position, and then you have Humphrey, Jimmy Smith, and Brandon Carr doing the same thing, you have so many options. Everybody's going to be fresh. I mean, Ladarius Webb can go back and give Weddle and Jefferson a little breather. I think this is like awesome. I think this DB is awesome, and if Jaylen Hill can come in and play like the way that he played when he was in the preseason, it's going to be awesome. Jaylen Hill is one of my favorite rookies to make the team in an undrafted sense, and I hope that he does perform well, and I hope I can show you guys some highlights of him in this next game against the Oakland Raiders, because he's awesome. So I'm excited about that. Jaylen Hill is back at practice, and now we're going to go into some not so happy news, which talks about Joe Flacco being the biggest disappointment for the Ravens. This comes from the Bleacher report. They ranked the biggest disappointment for every team, and Joe Flacco was number one, and it hurts my heart. You guys need to understand that Joe Flacco, at one point in time, was my favorite player on the Baltimore Ravens. When I dream about how you build a quarterback, you build them tall, you build them able to take hits, you build them with strong arms, and that is exactly what Joe Flacco is. He's cool and calm, and I love that about him. But when you play bad, you play bad, and there's nothing I can give you. There's no slack I can cut you. He's playing bad, and you can say the offensive line, but even when the offensive line does block, he overthrows balls. I mean, he underthrows them, overthrows them. He has an issue, and with a quarterback, it's a lot up here. You got to get this clean. And I don't think this is clean. I think that he sees defenders incorrectly when they're blitzing because he's so worried that the offensive line can't block. I think he doesn't see DBs sometimes. It's up here, right here, and I think he has to clear it out. He has been my biggest disappointment this season, and it's sad and it sucks, and I'm upset about it, but you can't play terrible and expect me to give you a free pass. You've been playing bad, Joe. I need you to play better, and you are my biggest disappointment for this year. So that was sad, but we're gonna go to my favorite segment of the day. It makes me happy, it makes me smile, and you guys can send in questions. Actually, now you guys, I need to change this right here, because you guys can send in questions down in the bottom, right in the comment section now. So I should probably change that. But we're gonna go to the mailbag question of the day, and this question comes from Max, and Max asks, will Mike Wallace stay with the Ravens after this year? Good question. I do believe that his contract is up after this year. He cost a good amount of money. From my understanding, that currently Macklin is cheaper to keep on the team than Mike Wallace. I believe Mike Wallace gets paid more. I would say yes, because if you lose Mike Wallace and Joe Flacco was playing like the rate he is, and you have that offensive line, you have no hope. The only hope that Ravens fans had coming into the season was, hey, we had Joe Flacco, who's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. We have two great receivers. I think Mike Wallace is a great receiver who will find employment on any team. And you have a receiver that can become good in Perryman, right? You know, we have something here. But if you lose one of those receivers and now you have to play Perryman, if I was a defense, I would just double team Mike Wallace for safety over the top. Not Mike Wallace, double team Jerry Macklin for safety over the top, and you win the football game. The Ravens can't score 14 points with Mike Wallace. You think they can score 14 points without Mike Wallace? Come on now. So I think that the Ravens will try to keep him because they need as much offensive firepower as they can get. And if the Ravens can somehow build a great offensive line next year, then you have every piece that you need to be a Super Bowl contender. So I hope that this works out. I don't know, but I hope it does. It was a great question, Max, so thank you guys so much. And that has been the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe to Ravens Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, check out the Ravens Space store in the description below. You can help us out. It's the best way to support us, other than becoming a Patreon subscriber, which you can also do in the description below. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.
Was lit.